yes, they would lose the weight. The hormones wouldn't just magically hold on to calories that are not coming in. It can't. By the end of today's video, I guarantee you're going to have a better understanding of hormonal weight gain, whether it's actually due to hormones. And I'm going to share with you a little question, a trick, a tool that can possibly help you with the weight loss and help you navigate how to lose the weight at this stage of life. I do think it's a nuanced discussion, and before I actually made this video, I was going to make a much more clickbaity video on how to get six-pack abs with this one question. But upon thinking about it and upon realizing that almost every menopausal or perimenopausal woman, not everyone, but almost everyone does gain weight, I realized that it's not such a simple cut and dried subject, and it does need a little bit more explaining. And I don't have all the answers, but I do have some experience because I am a woman. I'm in perimenopause myself. And yes, I am battling the bulge. I have shown my belly on camera before. I don't know if I'm showing it now, if you can see. Perimenopausal belly. So I will share what I'm going through. I'll share what I know for myself. And I'm also going to share, like, obviously the majority of women, what they go through. And I'm also going to share what some of the experts say about hormones and weight gain. So let's get into it. Okay, before we dive into this topic, if you're new here, my name is Louise. I'm a perimenopausal woman. I'm 44, soon to turn 45 at the date of this recording. Oh, don't you love this lamp? I'm quite fascinated by it. It's very, very pretty, isn't it? And the reason I started this whole channel, the reason I exist on YouTube at the moment is because I am going through perimenopause and there's so much information, there's so much to discuss. And I think women need to talk about it. We need to talk about what we're going through. It really has rocked my world personally. I went from, in my 30s, just feeling fantastic, feeling young, exercising, recovering nicely. Everything was great. And then suddenly after 40, I really started to struggle with joint aches and pains, fatigue, brain fog, tiredness, not feeling myself, low mood, eventually almost, not almost, a feeling of depression. And so although I had this channel way earlier when I started it, I had never had the guts and the courage to really follow through. But it was the menopause, the perimenopause at least, that actually reignited my passion for YouTube, because this is where I learn so much. And this is a platform to share like real honest experiences. And so that's why I'm here on YouTube. So that's my little introduction. If you're new here, I hope you consider sticking around. And so I want to talk about weight gain, abs, belly fat, abdominal fat, which every perimenopausal and menopausal woman complains about, and just have the discussion about, is it hormonal and what can we do about it? So if you listen, there's a fantastic expert on YouTube. He goes under the name BioLane. I think his name is Lane Norton. He's a doctor. He's got a doctorate. His PhD is very, very, very well spoken, very clever. He's big in the fitness space. And in general, his take is that you cannot blame hormones for weight gain.
That secret knowledge to you with this hormone quiz, then you would finally get results. No. What you need to start getting results is to be consistent. You need consistent application of hard work. But Lane, I work out and I eat right. You're consistent with it every single day of the week? With your nutrition every single day of the week? For weeks, for months, for years? Probably not. I do have like a whole bottle of wine and pizza on Saturday, but that's my cheat day. Yeah, well, your cheat day is 5,000 calories and it's pulling you out of a caloric deficit. This idea of hormone quizzes and hormone like mastery and all this stuff. I'm sorry, where did this guy do his endocrinology? Oh, that's right, he doesn't have a degree in endocrinology. I don't.
But having experienced it myself now in perimenopause, I think that there's more to it than just saying it's not hormones or it is hormones. I think, and this is just my opinion, and I'd love to hear yours, and I'd love to hear your experience, but I think that hormones, they might not pack on the weight. I mean, obviously you've got to eat to fuel the weight gain, but I do think that the hormones can, number one, direct where the weight goes, and that's obvious. If you look at steroid users, a woman who takes steroids, if they are taking androgenic steroids, the weight distribution and obviously eventually the fat levels in their bodies, it does change and it does make a difference. So you can't say hormones don't play a role, but obviously you've got to eat to fuel weight gain. So it's not that you can discount calories in, calories out either. But I would say the hormones direct where the weight goes. It directs how much lean muscle mass you have versus how much fat mass you have. I mean, if you just look at teenage boys and girls, testosterone versus estrogen, estrogen packs on fat, breasts, hips, thighs, all of that. So we can't discount hormones. But estrogen also, when you're young, keeps you slim. And so estrogen itself doesn't just promote unnecessary weight gain, because I think all of us, every woman, can attest to the fact that when we were younger, it was so much easier to be slimmer. Now, for each of us, slim is relative to, for us, I mean, I'm never going to be stick thin, but I was a lot slimmer when I was younger. Although I also had puppy fat, so maybe not necessarily. And for each of us, it's different. But I think for most women, and most women in perimenopause and menopause will look back on their younger self and say, it was so much easier to just like drop 5 kgs, 10 pounds, whatever, when I was younger. And so here's my thoughts, and maybe I'm wrong, but this is what I'm coming to believe, is that in perimenopause and menopause, the drop in hormones that we experience drives different behavior. And it's the different behaviors that lead to the weight gain. So what I mean is that when we are feeling perimenopausal and menopausal, we are achy, joint aches and pains, and we can't recover so much. So we don't want to exercise as much. You probably find that you don't move around as much as you used to because you are sore and tired. There's also that feeling of chronic fatigue. Now, I'm talking about women who are not on hormone replacement therapy. When you're perimenopausal, you are also kind of, like depressed, moody, black cloud. And that drives you to just want to lie on the couch. Also, it might drive you to want to eat. You've got more cravings for all the bad foods, for the sugars, the fats. I mean, just recently I was craving peanut butter and chocolate and cake like crazy, which this is where this belly has come from. And yes, it's small because I do try and halt myself, but there are some days where the driving force to eat all the bad foods is so overwhelmingly strong that it would take a Herculean effort not to give in to that. And so I think for most ladies, you have this like uptake in cravings that you almost cannot control. Now, if you could control them and you could control what you're eating and you had the energy to exercise, well, obviously then it's not the hormones, because if you could do all of that, but the hormones are driving behaviors that are not conducive to losing weight. And that's where I think it is the hormones. So I think it's not the hormones, because if we controlled for calories and we exercised the same as when we were younger or at the time when we lost weight in the past, if we did the behaviors that we used to do when we were younger, we'd probably have a very similar weight. But we are now perimenopausal or menopausal. We've lost our estrogen and our progesterone, and our testosterone is dipping along with other hormones. We're also losing other hormones. So let's not forget it. It's not just the menopausal hormones. As you get older, you lose your growth hormone, you lose your melatonin, you lose who knows what other hormones. And our behaviors do change. We are not as active. We're not bouncing around. I look at my young son and he runs from room to room and he zooms in the room and he bounces around and he jumps here and he runs there. Well, I'm sure all that extra frantic activity is burning like extra 100 calories a day just from the, like I say, Seth, come here, and he'll run down the stairs. Or you know what kids are like, they're full of energy. As older people, we are not full of energy. And if you've noticed, you'll notice that you might even talk slower. Your thinking is slower. Your movements are slower. You can hardly even move and turn around. Everything is just slower. And so the hormones do play a role. So that's where I think bio-lane is wrong. But if you put a whole group of 45-year-old women on a strict diet and you made them exercise and they were in a controlled environment, yes, they would lose the weight. The hormones wouldn't just magically hold on to calories that are not coming in. It can't. So your body will burn calories if you cut calories, no matter what age you're at. That is pretty much guaranteed. And I've seen it over and over again in friends and family. No matter what age someone is, they have been able to lose weight when they've been disciplined, when they've taken the time to do it, when they've taken the mental willpower, whatever it may be. But I will say that when you are in your 40s, 50s, whatever, it's way harder to have that mental discipline, willpower, whatever it takes to execute on a diet. And so I was going to make a whole video with this one question, and I'll share the question with you, is what would a person with six-pack abs do? And if you use this question, and I do believe that this question can help, if you use this question at every juncture and opportunity in your life where you might be making the wrong choice. So you're at a party, there's cake, there's snacks, and you're reaching for that unhealthy bit of food, and you know that that cake or fried chicken, whatever it is, you shouldn't really be eating it. You should maybe stick to the vegetables, the whatever else is healthy, or maybe you've had a snack before at home. You know that if you want to lose the weight, if you want your abs to show, whatever your goal is, you shouldn't do it. But of course, when you're feeling tired, fatigued, depressed, you're not happy with yourself, you're not happy in general, you're irritable, you're moody, the whole bang shoot that comes along with the hormonal decline in midlife, it's so hard to say no to the cake. It is so hard to say no to the chicken, the KFC, the McDonald's. And also sometimes I think by this stage in our lives, we are just tired. At least for me, we are tired. We are tired of dieting. We are tired of exercising. We are tired of running ourselves ragged to fit a certain image, look, mold, identity. Most of us women also, by now, we're losing our libido. So we don't even have an interest in sex anymore. Not all of us, but I'm just saying it does happen over a certain age. So you're like, well, why do I even want to be sexy? Why do I even care to lose the 10 kgs or the 5 pounds or whatever it is for you? Because fuck, now you're gonna have him pawing at you again. So for some of us, even I think we have in the back of our minds, it's safer to be a little bit weightier, to just have that sort of shield because our libidos are down. And it's so much easier to just sort of say, I don't feel sexy. At least it's an excuse we have in our minds. So there's that as well. Now, of course, naturally, the question is, well, then can hormone replacement therapy or menopause hormone therapy, whatever term you want to use, can that help? I'm going to say yes. I'm going to say it probably can help. If you're not wanting to take it or you can't or whatever your reasoning is, I mean, like I said, I'm not a doctor, I'm not an expert. I'm just having a discussion with my ladies here. Then I would say probably once you are through and on the other side of menopause, you might find it's easier at that stage to lose weight again because everything is settled and stable. And once you're used to, lower levels and you've adjusted to that, it's probably then the time. But when you're on this rocky road of perimenopause, it may not be the time for you. And any discussion, at least in my view, about weight gain, weight loss, abs, fitness, health, we have to just remember that we are not our weight. You are not how much you weigh on the scale. It's really not important. I know we all want to lose weight and feel sexy and feel good in our skin and feel beautiful. I know every lady wants that. I know we all feel like we've gained weight, we're fat, we're ugly now. No, maybe not every lady, but a lot of us at this time of our lives, midlife. But let me remind you that you are sexy and you are beautiful exactly as you are, where you are right now. I know you don't feel it, but I promise you, your man is not seeing the extra kg or 10 kgs. He really isn't. He is seeing you. You are womanly, you are feminine, and your curves add to your femininity. And sex appeal and sexiness and beauty and being beautiful has got nothing to do with how much you weigh. It really doesn't. And whether you have abs that show or don't show, it's irrelevant to anything that's important and meaningful. It doesn't make you a better person. It doesn't give you any kind of anything extra other than, sure, it's nice to look nice. It's nice to be a bit slimmer if you want it. It's nice to have abs, but there's always a season in your life when that's achievable, and there's a season in your life where it's not achievable. There's always these seasons in life where it's not even the right thing to pursue. So when you've got a new child, a newborn baby, or young children, or teenagers that you have to focus on, these are the things that are important, not six-pack abs. Maybe you're starting a new business and you're dedicating a lot of time and energy to that. That is the important thing in your life. And to use up your bandwidth on trying to diet and follow a strict diet, it's almost a waste of your bandwidth. Not always. There are times in your life when you want to do that and it feels so good to achieve a body goal. I won't lie, it does feel good. I've achieved that myself. I've had abs. I've had abs a few times in my life, and it does feel good. I won't lie, but it's not the be all and the end all, and it doesn't change your life, and it doesn't change how your loved ones see you. They really don't care. The people that love you for your qualities. Speaking for myself, probably the people that know me and love me, they love the fact that I'm a calm person. I'm a non-drama calm person. I'm a no-drama llama. I like that saying, no drama llama. But that's me, and they don't care if I've got abs or not. I'm pretty sure they don't. Your children don't care. So that's why I couldn't make that video that I was going to make, because it was far too clickbaity and it didn't take into account this whole nuanced discussion around hormones, around seasons of life and age. As we age, you are never going to look as firm and as toned and as cut as you did when you were younger. It's just a fact. Unless, of course, there are those exceptions on social media and the ones that do the fitness competitions, but I'm going to tell you, 90% of them, if not more percentage of them, are on something. Some form of steroid, some form of fat burner. They're on something. I'm sorry, I've seen it, I know it. There are the rare exceptions. I'm not saying there aren't. Some people just have the discipline, the drive, and the genetics to get in shape without help. But for most of us mere mortals, it's the older you get, the harder it does get. I won't lie, it does get harder. And the older you get, the less necessary it becomes. It's not as necessary to be in this top shape. What I would say is far more important is, and now here we're going to get deep again, I can never just be superficial. What's far more important is to have mental health, mental balance, mental clarity. And I love exercise. So I'm not saying don't exercise, and I'm not saying don't eat healthily, because I do believe in these things. I think they are fantastic. They are wonderful. But I also think you don't want to waste your bandwidth. If you're already exhausted, you're already tired, and you don't have fresh fruit and vegetables in the house, it's okay to have a pizza for supper. You don't have to rush out and do the perfect meal and have everything perfectly balanced. And I also think stressing about all of this is pointless. So what if you didn't meet your fiber goals for one day? Who cares, really? I think aim for a general healthy balance, aim for general good health, aim for general some activity, but it's more about seeing a bigger picture for your life and seeing that there are seasons, and it's totally okay to be wherever you are at now. It's okay to be in the season you're in now. So if you have gained some weight, that's okay. It's okay. It really doesn't matter. We all go through it, and it makes you human. It makes you one of us. We all have things with our bodies that we don't like. It's totally okay. However, let's just get back to the beginning of this video, which is that little tip. Like I said, that question would be, and I do think it could work. I think it could work for all of us if we were willing to apply it. What would somebody of my age with six-pack abs do? Or, okay, let's scrap the word six-pack, because women, it's really hard for us to get six-packs. Mostly the women with six-packs are on steroids. Let me just have a sip of water. For women, mostly we can get just ab lines and not six-packs. But I think using that question, so like for me, let's just put it into context or an example. What would if the version of me that had six-pack abs right now at 44, what would she do? Would she exercise? Yes, she probably would. Would she follow a diet somewhat? Yes, she would. She would say no to certain things. She would probably, if I'm being honest, I would allow myself some cheat meals. I would allow myself a nice balance. I'd probably more track roughly portions and macros. I wouldn't be too strict, because I've learned how how bad I feel when I'm way too strict, and then I just fall off the bandwagon. But if I were to get abs now at my age, and I know what to do, would be portion control, moderation with eating, try not to overeat, balance it with exercise, and at every opportunity where I'm about to make the choice that takes me away from abs, I would just have to redirect. Now, that would take a lot of mental effort, I'm not going to lie, especially at my age. It was a lot easier when I was younger to, I don't know why, it just was. But that is a tool and a question that you might want to use. It might help you. And you might say that at your age, what would a woman of 44 with six-pack abs do? Would she be on hormone replacement therapy? And the answer might be yes, she might be. And that might be something you want to look into. Maybe that woman is on a mild antidepressant because she is struggling with her menopause. That could be something you want to look into. So wherever you are in your life, and this question can apply to any age, any stage, whether you're a man, whether you're a woman, you can just say, what would a 20-year-old with six-pack abs do? What would a 6-year-old man who had abs, what would he be doing? And you follow what you already know, because the truth is we do know already what works for us. We know what works for our bodies. We know what diets work for us. We know what we're willing to stick to. You know what you are willing to do. You know how much exercise you're actually willing to do in reality, because you can't follow something that is not something you're going to stick to. So this whole discussion, let me try and wrap it up here, has been about hormones, weight loss, abs, and a question that you can use to lose some weight at this time of your life and at any time of your life. But I don't want the discussion to be clickbaity. That's not what it was meant to be. So what I'm saying is, yes, hormones do drive our behaviors, and those behaviors do take us away from losing weight. But the good news is, and I fully believe this, it's not impossible. At any age and at any stage, you can take control and lose the weight. You just need that mental energy to stick to it. And of course, the boring old thing is consistency. We hear it over and over again. It is the truth, though. You have to be consistent. So rather do it over a longer period of time where you can lose the weight slowly. No crash dieting, please. You can. I mean, it's not like you can't. You can crash diet if you want to, but then you're probably going to put the weight back on. So I think a discussion around weight is very nuanced, but you know always, because you've been in your body for so long, you know what works for you. And you probably, if you're very honest with yourself, you know right now why you're not losing the weight, and you know why you're gaining the weight. And if you're honest with yourself, you're also going to say, well, that's okay. I actually really don't feel like losing weight right now. I'm tired, I'm exhausted, I'm hormonal, and I just want to pig out for a little bit. And that's fine. As long as obviously your cholesterol's not shooting up through the roof, or your blood sugar levels, even if they are, it's your body, it's your life. And you don't have to be super, super healthy all the time. Yes, health is important, and I think you should be healthy, but if you're not, it's not like, I don't know, I think in this sort of day and age now, it's almost become the sin to have anything unhealthy. It's not a sin. It's okay. You're okay. You're a human, and you're doing the best you can. and I know you are doing the best you can. P.S. Ladies, if you don't mind, I'd love to ask you a favor. If you found this video, this discussion helpful in any way, please share it with a friend, another lady who's going through menopause or perimenopause. This is a time where we can feel very isolated and very lonely in our lives. And I do believe that sharing and talking about perimenopause and menopause is so very helpful. I hope you enjoyed this video and I hope you enjoyed this discussion. It does wind with me. Sometimes there's windy discussions, but I like them. I like listening to discussions like this. We are older, we are wiser, and we need more nuanced discussions. It's not black and white. Life is never black and white. Thank you for watching, and I hope you consider subscribing. I will see you in my next video. And if you like this topic today, I have made a video explaining perimenopause for men, so I know what it's like to feel misunderstood by your man. He's got no clue what we're going through. So I think you'll really enjoy this video here.